Uh, hey guys, this is a re-upload of a really bad video I made in I don't know, like 3 years ago when I was 10 years old. I was technically not old enough to be on YouTube from my old channel Spoicy. Um, I'm not gonna explain anything, but I guess enjoy the video. Don't watch the whole thing. Please, I am a changed man.
Five Nights at Freddy's has to be one of the most well-known games in the world. With its combined elements of horror and mystery, there really isn't other game like it. Test it out with a group of people. I bet about 3 of them will say the first horror game that comes to their mind is Five Nights at Freddy's. But talking about FNAF's history isn't the point of this video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the FNAF theory iceberg. And I also want to get a couple things out of the way before we start. I found it on Google, but this iceberg was by F-Zillow about a year ago on r/Five Nights at Freddy's. This iceberg covers FNAF fan theories specifically, and I will be blocking out any inappropriate entries if I see one. But let me quickly explain what an iceberg is to y'all who somehow are 2 years late to the party. An iceberg chart is simple. It covers information on a basic topic, this one being FNAF fan theories. The higher layers are usually most common information or most accepted by the community. The lower down you go, the most obscure and creepy the entries get. So that's the basic rundown, and I'm also going to split this into a couple parts, probably about 2. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It took so much editing to make, and yeah, thanks again for 300 subscribers. That was my goal for the entire year, and somehow I made it already. Thanks! Do I really need to explain this to you people? Highly regarded in the community as fact, FNAF 2 is in fact a prequel, due to the date on the pink slip letter, and to a lot of other information. Like how somehow the phone guy is still alive, and the animatronics in the back room, aka the wizards, have different designs than the original cast from FNAF 1. This has been a theory in the FNAF community for quite a while in fact, and there is a lot of information to prove this. Mangle's jump scare animation is her literally biting you in the head. If that isn't evidence for it, I don't know what is. Also myself, I also believe this theory because almost any camera you see Mangle on, her mouth is either unhinged or wide open. Thanks to FNAF 4, we know that this theory is proven. Michael Afton is the older brother of the crying child. How do we know this? Because he's physically older than the crying child. You didn't have to cut me off. This one is pretty easy to explain. Evan Afton is the name given to the crying child from the FNAF series. I don't know why it sprouted up, but it's just a fan name. Even to this day, we still have no idea who killed the phone guy in FNAF 1. But we do have a piece of evidence to prove that Golden Freddy was the one that killed him. Right before Phone Guy dies, we hear the moaning of Bonnie and Chica, the bang on the door that's supposedly Foxy, the chimes that Freddy sings, and finally, before he dies, a split second, we hear the roar that Golden Freddy gives, usually in the game.
So bad. Yeah, I always wondered what was in all those empty heads back there. You know. Oh
no. Okay, this is going to contain some minor spoilers for the lore, by the way. Besides their names sounding similar, Michael Afton is supposedly supposed to be the one that plays FNAF 2, FNAF 3, and FNAF 1. Why do we know this? I'll tell you why. In the narrative of the franchise, it would make sense for Michael to try and hunt down his father after what he did to the kids in the 1980s. Also, wasn't Michael trying to find out what his father actually did, aka William Afton? Do I really need to explain this to you people? Okay, get your Jimmy Neutron jokes out of the way. We all know that Scrap Chap is ugly and does not deserve to exist on this mortal plane. I know. But that tangent aside, why is Scrap Chap so different in the first place? Well, I truly believe, as long as many other people, it is a new suit that William Afton found at the old Fredbear's location. Evidence? Well, there isn't a lot. We really have no mini-games, or lore, or confirmed things about this theory. But there is some clue details on Scraptrap's design that may lead us to this conclusion. For some reason, Scraptrap's body isn't as damaged as Springtrap in FNAF 3, and it already has a button on it in the first place. Springtrap never had a button, as far as I know. Second is the teeth. Number 1, Springtrap never had these kind of teeth. Number 2, they look pretty new without any damage. I'm surprised an animatronic survived that. And number 3, well, they look stupid as heck. And lastly, why are the ears so frickin' small? They're like tiny toothpicks compared to his bulbous head. I bet this one will save MatPat a lot of time, but the books have to be a separate continuity with a couple key things. Number 1, we have characters that represent other characters in the actual FNAF games and other parts of the franchise. Number 2, there is almost no references of other game media inside the books. Just try looking for I don't know, Wither Chica? And finally, I do believe myself has a strong opinion that there is no gumdrop humanoids inside the FNAF series. There isn't. Or baby Springtraps. That's kind of creepy too. Okay, so I just realized something about this iceberg. It's not about information or different kind of theories, the more unknown they get. It's actually their birth date, as in meaning like when they were formed. I guess I was confused because the top layer said widely agreed by the community theories and stuff like that. So yeah, that's just a warning right there. It's just how old the theories are. Back to the video. Golden Both is a pretty popular theory in the FNAF community, and it actually has a lot of depth. The theory is that the crying child, after the bite of 83, possessed Fredbear, which equals to Golden Freddy. But Cassidy, the vengeful spirit, was also possessed in Golden Freddy after the murders of William Afton. So, Golden Both is the possibility that both of them are living inside Golden Freddy. There's a couple pieces of evidence to prove this theory. Number 1, Elizabeth Aston isn't represented at all until sister location from the other games. If there was another family member, we would have to see her. And besides, all we have is her room in FNAF 4. Also, another piece of evidence is that Hidden Unit literally says Freddy Fazbear's Pizza closed. We have no idea which restaurant this is, but I'm gonna guess this is FNAF 2, okay? I couldn't really find other pieces of evidence, but this is highly regarded in the community as fact. This theory is basically confirmed. It's correct. It's always been correct. Ever since FNAF 4, we saw the date on the TV. Fredbear and Friends from FNAF 4 says Fredbear and Friends 1983. I don't want to go into a long speech about this one. Just watch this clip from Game Theory's first FNAF video.
Character's paycheck. Each night you're working a 6-hour shift and you're spending 5 nights there. So that's 30 hours of total work time for $120. In total, $4 an hour. How can they do that? That's below minimum wage for 2014. But in 1990, minimum wage was $3.80. In 1991, it was raised to $4.25. And by 1996, you were looking at about $5 an hour. So the game seems to take place between 1991 and 1996.
This theory is also proven. UCN is William Afton's hell. How do we know this? There's a cutscene at the end of Ultimate Custom Night that shows Golden Freddy twitching, fading away. Maybe Golden Freddy is the one behind this entire thing. Also, there's a lot of characters like the Mediocre Melodies and Old Man Consequences that draw facts to Cassidy, the one who wanted to really just kill William and keep him in a hell of his own suffering after what he did. This gives more evidence to the theory that this is William Afton's hell. It's basically confirmed. Supposedly, in the final nights of FNAF 2, we play as Jeremy Fitzgerald. And, well, what happens after that causes, Freddy Fazbear's Pizza to shut down? The bite of 87. And that was layer 1 of the FNAF theory iceberg. Whew, that took a while. Okay, so there's a lot of these Michael Afton theories. This one is pretty self-explanatory. It's saying that all the FNAF lore is wrong, and Springtrap is actually the dead corpse of Michael Afton. Yeah. As long as the last one, this is a pretty lame theory. All it's saying is that all the FNAF lore is wrong, and that Michael Afton was the one who got bitten by Fredbear instead of Evan/the Crying Child. Yeah. Also, he's a robot in Sister Location. Personally, both of these theories are bogus and I do not believe them. Theorists are really into Michael Afton, but anyways, this is again saying that all the FNAF lore is wrong, and that, you know what, forget the William Afton arc, forget what he killed, forget his remorse, forget all that. Michael Afton, is in UCN, which is his hell. No. Get your lore books, baby. You need to be taught by MatPat, man. Go to school. Okay, I can let this one slide for a couple of reasons. I'm not really sure about UCN because that's William Afton's hell and I guess we play as him. Also, I'm not sure about Help Wanted. Of course, we play as Gregory in Security Breach. And it is confirmed 1, 2, and 3 are played by Michael. I'm not really too sure about this theory, about every game. This theory does seem very interesting, and it would be actually pretty cool if it was true, but sadly it isn't. So you know how FNAF 2 when Fogai mentions they're going to contact the owners of Fredbear's Family Diner? Yeah, about that student stuff? Well, guess who was one of the owners of Fredbear's Family Diner? Henry Emily. It wouldn't make a lot of sense that he'd contact himself. Yeah. I don't actually know, I've never heard this thing before. Maybe there's some more pieces of evidence, but I don't think this is true. No! Okay, so this one is kind of hard to explain. I think I heard it on game theory somewhere, but basically the general idea is that Mangle is actually possessed by Susie's dog. You know, Chica victim, that girl. Yeah, so apparently William Afton was using experiments with Remnant around this time of the killings. So I guess he thought that maybe he could do an experiment on Susie's dog. I don't know how he got Susie's dog, but yeah, that's the theory. Scott has admitted that Scraptrap is related to the lawyer FNAF, so no, Scraptrap is not a retcon. I personally think it's just a change of parts or suit. Ever since FNAF 4, this has sparked a massive debate on whether the FNAF 4 animatronics, aka the nightmares, are real or fake. Let's have some evidence that proves they are real. Illusion discs. They were brought forth in the book and contains bare endos into monstrous twisted monsters, aka the twisted ones. So, couldn't it have been true that maybe the nightmares are just using these illusion discs? We know they are part of the FNAF games, not just the books, as seen by Fun Times Freddy's parts and Sister Location. But what if they were in the nightmares too? Sister Location gives us another great piece of evidence. On the camera map in the breaker room, we see the FNAF 4 Plus Trap room, Fredbear's Family Diner, and the child's bedroom, where there's gray dots. There's more than gray dots, almost 5, like the main cast of FNAF 4. Coincidence? I think not. These theories don't really make a lot of sense, even though there's only 2 pieces of evidence. But I'm all for it. I'm just the people who believe in dream theory. Sorry. I really want this one to be true, but sadly, nothing comes easy for a Security Breach, and they have to confuse it even more. On one of the endings of Security Breach, we see Vanessa standing over the edge of the roof, while Vanny is clearly dead. After being unmasked, they're the same person. Oh my god!
So, bite victim fifth. Bite victim fifth is theory that says that the bite victim, or known as the crying child, that died was later revived by the fifth child that possesses the puppet, also known as Charlotte. So but this theory can be easily debunked by the golden duo theory.
I can't really find a lot about this one, but all I really know is that we don't really know the full victim of Golden Freddy. It's either Cassidy or it's either the crying child, but honestly, we have no idea. Mike bought us the theory that Michael Afton, as we know him, is actually a sentient android with flesh-like appearance. Kind of like the Terminator. Honestly, I don't think there's a lot of evidence for this. It just seems kind of silly. Sammy Emily has been a character we haven't really seen yet in the FNAF series. He hasn't had a major role, all we have is a small sprite of him. He just doesn't seem so interesting. But he could possibly be Shadow Bonnie? This doesn't really have a lot of evidence, but I can go over it. So apparently Sammy is the night guard for FNAF 3, which we obviously know isn't true, because what intentions would he have of burning his own father? Yeah, it's not his father. FNAF 3 is literally proven to be Michael Afton. But that being the night guard has nothing to do with Sammy. There's no other evidence for this theory, and it doesn't make a lot of sense. All they're saying is that Sammy equals Shadow Bonnie. But if there's no evidence, how am I supposed to prove it's true? This is a dumb theory, and I don't believe it. I don't think it's even been debunked either. Yeesh. The bite victim of 83 does not possess a Funtime animatronic. I can't find anything on this theory. If I did, I don't think I want to. It sounds like some weird shippy fan art thing. Okay, so I actually quite believe this theory. This is saying that over the time at Fredbear's Family Diner, while they were using the spring clocks, more than just William Afton died later on. There was actually some other employees that wore the Spring Bonnie and Fredbear costumes, and that's how we got Shadow Freddy and Shadow Bonnie. This actually makes a lot of sense, and I think it's really cool. Honestly, we still have no idea who Orange Guy is. He apparently seems to have 2 kids and I guess a wife. This could actually be Henry. I just don't believe with the window smashing and someone going through the window. That may be Charlotte, but I guess I'm just stretching here. Like, what even is this theory? We haven't seen William's father at all in the franchise. Does he even have a father? I don't know. He seems adopted or something. No, this doesn't make a lot of sense. I don't know. Guess he went to go get the milk, I guess. I guess this is the theory that Michael Afton is in the Emily family? No. This would be really cool if it was true, but sadly it isn't. Steel Wool had to ruin the lore. Glitchtrap is its own separate entity, being how when William dies, I guess his remnant stays as Glitchtrap as a virus. Shadow Bonnie has never really been a virus in this series, it's always just an Easter egg. We don't really know a lot about Shadow Bonnies. This one could be true, but I personally believe they're both separate entities if you believe the Springlock victim theory. This one is debunked. If you've seen my Layer 1 1993 is the correct date for this. Due to Mad Bat's first FNAF theory, he actually had a surprising amount of evidence for it. And for our final theory of Layer 2, and for this part 1, we have the Afton family Horcruxes, which is how I think you say it. I have no idea what this is about. The most I could find was this big thread that was like chapters. I don't think I want to read through it, but I guess it has something to do with dark magic in the Afton family. That's the bare bones knowledge. I'm so sorry to end this on that kind of note, but yeah. Yay. And that was the FNAF Theory Iceberg, Layers 1 to 2. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It took me a while to make, and I just wanted to say if you did enjoy it, make sure to like and subscribe to the video. Part 2 will be out really soon, and we'll cover Layers 3 to 5. And yeah, peace.